So you don't start till I speak, right? When I start speaking?
You go ahead, yes, please start.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today we're going to introduce the course this semester, Leadership in Business and Politics. To begin with, I'd like to ask the question, who is a leader? Who in this class think you're a leader? Anyone? Who thinks you have leadership ability? Go ahead and raise your hand if you think so.
Should have.
No, who thinks you have? Who thinks you have a little bit of leadership ability? Who? Okay. Kyung Hee, a little bit. That's it? Now this question is kind of a, as they say in English, a loaded question, because it might, an American group of students might respond with pride and individuality and say, I'm a leader. And maybe half the class would raise their hand. But of course, this is in a different culture. So for Japanese, is there, or Chinese or Korean, would that be normal to raise your hand? Probably not. So I'm sure there's more, you have more leadership than you believe. Let's move on to the next. I just want to tell you a quick story about Tadashi Yanai, a CEO of a fast retailing company, who I didn't realize until I did some research that he's a billionaire. Very rich, yes. Spoke at a United Nations University in Tokyo in 2010. And what was so interesting is when on a panel, he was asked the question, what can Japanese students do to compete with other Asian students for English-speaking jobs? And interesting, his answer was, everyone is a leader. Why would he say that, do you think? Masami, why do you think he would say that?
You can train the employees to be a leader.
So maybe he has the ability to train. Good. Is there anything else
To
someone?
encourage his employees, and he has high expectation that the economic effect, his employees will be better
Yeah,
performing.
he might think that, but he was speaking about Japanese
Oh,
students.
Japanese students.
So he was saying Japanese students are all leaders. So we will explore that more in the next class, but let's move on. Everyone is a leader. All ages, all cultures, from all cultures, all backgrounds. And that's what John Maxwell says in his book. That's what we're going to study this semester, John Maxwell's book. But before we get there, I'd like to just do one more exercise with you. Let's look here. Steve Jobs. Everyone knows Steve Jobs. He's quite famous as all around the world. And he had a problematic history with Apple, but yet he was a great leader. I'd like you to take a moment on a piece of paper and just write down as many, brainstorm as much as you like with a partner. I'll give you 3 minutes. Oh, no, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write as many qualities as you can why Steve Jobs was such a good leader. What were the qualities that made him a good leader? Qualities, like he had vision, or if it was soft.
Imagine it is something. He could achieve something nobody achieved.
Good speaker.
Good speaker.
Okay,
Which is his
Jean Sui, give us one quality that made Steve Jobs an effective business leader. Yeah.
He had a very strong will. Willpower.
Conviction. Would that
Conviction.
be another word? Okay, just pretend I wrote that on the PowerPoint. All right. So conviction. What would be another one? Hiroko.
He had creativity.
He had creativity. Yes. He had creativity. He had vision. He had conviction. What else, Masami?
He loves
So innovative.
Innovative.
Creating new things. Part of his maybe brilliance. Kyung-hee, one more quality.
Maybe he had charisma.
He had charisma. People listened to him. And we could make a long list, couldn't we? Great communication skills, great communicator, risk taker, courage. And we could go on, I'm sure, if we had the time. But I just wanted you to circle the 3 top qualities on your list. And let's move on. So for next class, I'd like you to think about, what did we do today? We talked about who is a leader. The great news is that everyone is a leader. And that's what John Maxwell points out. And that means, what does that mean for you? Only one person raised their hand. Maybe you have a little bit of leadership. It means
Maybe by the end of this class, everybody was.
yes, I hope so. And to fill the gap, because this is for more of a Western audience, I have some handouts about maybe leadership in Japanese society and why Japanese society is a little different and how leaders behave. So that will help you. What I, my, hone, tatemai. So I'd like to address that cultural issue too. Also, for your homework, I want you to brainstorm. And I'm going to give you a handout here. Brainstorm, make a list of leaders you admire. Who's the leader you admire, Chinese?
Oh. Deng Xiaoping.
Deng Xiaoping. So that will be a member here. And Hiroko.
My department chair.
And maybe the president of the university too. How about Masami? Abe? Did I hear you? You said, okay, so Prime Minister Abe. Okay, so let's go on. So I'd like you to brainstorm, make a list, not just one name, the name you mentioned here, but maybe 5 or 10 names, and then choose one and brainstorm again. Maybe 5 or 10 qualities that made that leader successful, effective. And then organize, pick 3, and then organize it here, the top 3 qualities. So step by step. And then you're going to make an outline and prepare a paragraph. Write a paragraph about your leader you admire, whom you admire. I also have here a list of 21 qualities that might help you with some vocabulary to prepare, such as character, this is your qualities, charisma, commitment, competence, focus, passion. That certainly is Steve Jobs, isn't it? Positive attitude, relationships. So there's a lot of things we can learn from this. Interesting, as I close, I didn't want to say this earlier, but we spoke today about qualities. This book is about laws. So we're going to incorporate qualities of leadership, but the principles, the guiding principles of leadership. So please bring this book next week and maybe look through the table of contents, and you can skim through this a little bit. As we start next week, we'll start the law of the lid. Okay, thank you.